Now, Josina Anderson followed this up with another tweet here, and she said regarding on the future of the situation in Cleveland, and the word that she kept on hearing was precedent, saying, quote, "You have to look at every single case that touched those areas in the personal conduct policy on sexual misconduct, and that precedent is either the floor or the minimum at that point." And so, you know, G. Bush, looking at that, and especially looking at how the NFL kind of looks at these, I know you mentioned, obviously, the optics of it as well. You know, the optics of looking at some of these other preceding cases at this point, and the fact that, again, I think that the bigger point in this is the fact that it's the 22. It's the number of the cases that are involved in this as well, along with the actions that are being levied against Watson. So do you think that in keeping that in mind, you know, again, the number of cases will also add on to that possible suspension, at least whether it be immediately from the NFL regarding this situation?
Well, I think here's the thing, and Josina Anderson says it. She says it in a really concise way. You have to look at each individual case. Now, just because you have 22 individual cases, we have to be adults about the situation and say, look, man, I can do two things at once. I can look at each individual case and figure out what merit are in those individual cases. Just because you say it's 22, you know, you could go back to the previous charges. There were 29 charges. 7 of those charges were thrown out. So, I mean, we have to also take in consideration with that, too. So, you know, it goes both ways. You can say there's 22 of these allegations, but you can also say there was 7 false allegations. Now, no one really brings the false allegations because we're at a point in life where we've not believed women so long that now we're to the far right of it now and saying we got to believe every single allegation. That's because we didn't believe women for years when they talked about sexual assault. See, this is what I'm pointing to. It's, hey, you're overcorrecting. All we have to do as a society is say, look, there's a case for a reason. Right now, you have 4 different people trying to decide what punishment is going to be, and you haven't heard any civil cases, right? This is before any words have been said in front of a court of a public appeal. Now, here's the point. Is he probably going to get a suspension? Yes, he's probably going to get some sort of suspension. Is it going to be this year? I don't know. Is it going to be next year? Could be. I don't know. He could get no suspension. The reality of it is, if the NFL wants to make the right decision here, it's not it's not just being the first person to say, hey, you did something wrong, we're going to suspend you, so we look like the hero here. No, it's get all the information, listen to 22 cases, and then figure out if he did something in those 22 cases. Other than that, we're speculating on stuff that we can't figure out, we won't know about, and we're not going to hear till next year. So either way, they can suspend him. It's their league. They've done it before. I wouldn't be surprised if he does get 4 to 6 games, whatever the case may be. But I can't sit here and tell you that's going to be that's the right thing to do without hearing all of the other cases and taking it case by case, word for word, line by line.